Absent of hope, a man is destitute. That's why I think that what you guys are doing is so important, because you never know when you're going to go. I mean, some people are taken out by surprise. Some of us have the blessing of knowing that you're terminal, and I do consider that a blessing, because at least you know that you're not going to live forever. You know, not in this lifetime, at least. You know, we lost a friend of mine. Just his funeral's tomorrow. Drew. I respect his boundaries and just call him by his first name, but he was 30 years old, 30 and a half years old. And grade 4 glioblastoma took him. And man, we had a great relationship, although it was short-lived. We met on a brain tumor awareness site, and he had been recently diagnosed, and he was the only guy from Texas. There's people all over the world on these websites through Facebook. And so he was the only Texas guy. And so we struck up a friendship, and then eventually, you know, I'm like an old fart, you know, I'm 49, you know, and he was like 30, you know, he was 29, I think, when he got diagnosed. And so long story short, I don't regret any of that, reaching out, because it's like the gospel, you know. You want to help somebody if you can help them, you know. So we actually were able to meet and not just text or Facebook Messenger or whatever. We met in November of 2021, and we really plan to have more time together. And you know, he lives in Carthage. He lived in Carthage, and he and my brother and I had a great time talking about, you know, cars, trucks, ATVs, side by sides. You know, he was we all had that much in common, and I sincerely wanted him to meet Jason, because I love my brother. I mean, he's an awesome guy, you know. He's 5 years younger than me, but I knew that he and Drew would be closer together in age, and so I had a little bit of concern there that Drew would relate better to my brother, but we all talked, and because we all had common interests, you know. And so Drew came down in November and visited me, and he actually took me to lunch, and I was going to pay, but he insisted on paying, and we talked about family, and you know, he has 2 daughters, and he's had to leave behind. And Drew was a lot like me, you know, a lot like anybody that cares, you know, that has a heart, and he wanted to give back, and like I wanted to give back when I met him. And I thought that Carthage was further away. I thought it was because actually one time he lived in Lufkin. But he drove down, picked me up, and it was a great half a day of visiting. And I called him when he was leaving my driveway. I said, "Drew, we didn't take a picture, man." He said, "Oh, we'll get it next time." And that's really, in the end, it's not that important, but I did want a picture with him. And we talked in January and February, I believe, and then his mom called me. I never met her, and her name is Kelly. And we visited, and she asked if he and I had plans, and we had talked about him going down and visiting for a soccer game, but we haven't talked recently. And long story short, within 2 weeks, he was on hospice, and then he passed away. And all I can say is I'm glad I had the privilege of knowing Drew. There's a saying that I got from somebody on TV, and may his memory be a blessing, because his life certainly was.